Welcome to our journey back in time to one of the most formidable and expansive empires in human history, the ancient Mongolian Empire. Hello, history enthusiasts. Today, we are exploring the incredible rise and dramatic fall of the Mongolian Empire. I'm historical, and I'll be your guide through this epic tale of conquest, leadership, and culture. Our story begins in the rugged terrains of Central Asia. In 1162, a boy named Temujin was born. He would later become known as Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongolian Empire. Genghis Khan, born into a turbulent period, faced immense challenges from an early age. He united the Mongolian tribes through strategic alliances and ruthless warfare. By 1206, Temujin had united the Mongolian tribes under a single banner, declaring himself Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. This marked the beginning of the Mongolian Empire. Genghis Khan's military genius and innovative strategies were key to the Mongolian Empire's expansion. The Mongol army, renowned for its speed and mobility, utilized psychological warfare, espionage, and superior horse-riding skills to conquer vast territories. They swiftly captured the Jin dynasty in northern China, the Khwarezm Empire in Persia, and numerous other regions, leaving a trail of formidable influence. At its height, the Mongolian Empire stretched from the Sea of Japan to the heart of Europe, covering over 9 million square miles. It was a melting pot of cultures, religions, and languages. The empire facilitated unprecedented trade along the Silk Road, fostering cultural and technological exchanges between the East and the West. This era saw the spread of innovations like paper, gunpowder, and the compass. Genghis Khan established a sophisticated administrative system to govern his vast empire. He promoted meritocracy, religious tolerance, and codified laws in the Yasa, ensuring stability and justice across his dominion. His successors continued these policies, maintaining order and facilitating prosperity even as the empire expanded further. Despite its eventual fragmentation, the Mongolian Empire left an indelible mark on history. It shaped the modern world in ways still felt today, influencing trade, warfare, and cultural exchange. Historians often debate the dual legacy of the Mongols as brutal conquerors and progressive rulers, but one thing is certain: their impact on history is undeniable. The empire began to split due to wars over succession, as the grandchildren of Genghis Khan disputed whether the royal line should follow from his son and initial heir Ogedai or from one of his other sons, such as Talyui, Chagatai, or Joki. The Talyuids prevailed after a bloody purge of Ogedid and Chagataid factions, but disputes continued among the descendants of Talyui. The conflict over whether the Mongol Empire would adopt a sedentary, cosmopolitan lifestyle or stick to its nomadic, steppe-based way of life was a major factor in the breakup. After Mongol Khan died, 1259, rival Kurultai councils simultaneously elected different successors, the brothers Erik Bok and Kublai Khan, who fought each other in the Talyuid Civil War, 1260 to 1264, and also dealt with challenges from the descendants of other sons of Genghis. Kublai successfully took power, but war ensued as he sought unsuccessfully to regain control of the Chagataid and Ogedid families. By the time of Kublai's death in 1294, the Mongol Empire had fractured into 4 separate khanates or empires, each pursuing its own interests and objectives: the Golden Horde Khanate in the northwest, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, the Ilkhanate in Iran, and the Yuan dynasty, Note 1, in China, based in modern-day Beijing. In 1304, during the reign of Timur, the 3 western khanates accepted the suzerainty of the Yuan dynasty. The part of the empire that fell first was the Ilkhanate, which disintegrated in the period of 1335 to 1353. Next, the Yuan dynasty lost control of the Tibetan Plateau and China proper in 1354 and 1368, respectively, and collapsed after its capital of Dadu was taken over by Ming forces. The Genghisid rulers of the Yuan then retreated north and continued to rule the Mongolian plateau. The regime is thereafter known as the Northern Yuan dynasty in historiography, surviving as a rump state until the conquest by the Qing dynasty in the 1630s. The Golden Horde had broken into competing khanates by the end of the 15th century, and its rule on Eastern Europe is traditionally considered to have ended in 1480 with the Great Stand on the Uber River by the Grand Duchy of Moscow, while the Chagatai Khanate lasted in one form or another until 1687. The area around Mongolia, Manchuria, and parts of North China had been controlled by the Khitan-led Liao dynasty since the 10th century. In 1125, the Jin dynasty founded by the Jurchens overthrew the Liao dynasty and attempted to gain control over former Liao territory in Mongolia. In the 1130s, the Jin dynasty rulers, known as the Golden Kings, successfully resisted the Khamid Mongol Confederation, ruled at the time by Kublai Khan, great-grandfather of Genghis Khan. The Mongolian plateau was occupied mainly by 5 powerful tribal confederations: Khamid Karaits, Khamid Mongol, Naiman, Mergid, and Tatar. The Jin emperors, following a policy of divide and rule, encouraged disputes among the tribes, especially between the Tatars and the Mongols, in order to keep the nomadic tribes distracted by their own battles and thereby away from the Jin. Kublai's successor was Amagai Khan, who was betrayed by the Tatars, handed over to the Jurchen, and executed. The Mongols retaliated by raiding the frontier, resulting in a failed Jurchen counterattack in 1143. In 1147, the Jin somewhat changed their policy, signing a peace treaty with the Mongols and withdrawing from a score of forts. The Mongols then resumed attacks on the Tatars to avenge the death of their late Khan, opening a long period of active hostilities. The Jin and Tatar armies defeated the Mongols in 1161. During the rise of the Mongol Empire in the 13th century, the usually cold, parched steppes of Central Asia enjoyed their mildest, wettest conditions in more than a millennium. It is thought that this resulted in a rapid increase in the number of war horses and other livestock, which significantly enhanced Mongol military strength. Known during his childhood as Temujin, Genghis Khan was a son of a Mongol chieftain and rose very rapidly as a young man by working with Togrul Khan of the Karaite. After Temujin went to war against Kurdate, also known as Wang Khan, given the Chinese title Wang for its meaning of king, who was the most powerful Mongol leader at the time, he gave himself the name Genghis Khan. He then enlarged his Mongol state under himself and his kin, with the term Mongol coming to be used in reference to all Mongolic-speaking tribes under the control of Genghis Khan. His most powerful allies were his father's friend, Karaite chieftain Togrul, and Temujin's childhood Anda, i.e. blood brother, Jamukha of the Jadran clan. With their help, Temujin defeated the Merkit tribe, rescued his wife Borte, and went on to defeat the Naimans and the Tatars. Temujin forbade the looting of his enemies without permission, and he implemented a policy of sharing spoils with his warriors and their families instead of giving them all to the aristocrats. 24. These policies brought him into conflict with his uncles, who were also legitimate heirs to the throne. They regarded Temujin not as a leader but as an insolent usurper. This dissatisfaction spread to his generals and other associates, and some Mongols who had previously been allies broke their allegiance. 23. War ensued, and Temujin and the forces still loyal to him prevailed, defeating the remaining rival tribes between 1203 and 1205 and bringing them under his sway. In 1206, Temujin was crowned as the Khagan, emperor, of the Yek Mongol Ulus, Great Mongol State, at a Kurultai, General Assembly/Council. It was there that he assumed the title of Genghis Khan, universal leader, instead of one of the old tribal titles such as Gur Khan or Tayan Khan, marking the start of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan introduced many innovative ways of organizing his army, for example dividing it into decimal subsections of Arbans, 10 soldiers, Zuns, 100, Minghans, 1,000, and Tumans, 10,000. The Keshik, the Imperial Guard, was founded and divided into day, Korchin Torguds, and night, Kevchul, guards. 25. Genghis rewarded those who had been loyal to him and placed them in high positions, as heads of army units and households, even though many of them came from very low-ranking clans. Compared to the units he gave to his loyal companions, those assigned to his own family members were relatively few. He proclaimed a new code of law of the empire, Ikzasig or Yasa. Later he expanded it to cover much of the everyday life and political affairs of the nomads. He forbade the selling of women, theft, fighting among the Mongols, and the hunting of animals during the breeding season. He appointed his stepbrother Shikikatug as supreme judge, Jaragachi, ordering him to keep records of the empire. In addition to laws regarding family, food, and the army, Genghis also decreed religious freedom, citation needed, and supported domestic and international trade. He exempted the poor and the clergy from taxation. He also encouraged literacy and the adaptation of the Uyghur script into what would become the Mongolian script of the empire, ordering the Uyghur Tatatanga, who had previously served the Khan of Naimans, to instruct his sons. Genghis quickly came into conflict with the Jin dynasty of the Jurchens and the western Xia of the Tanguts in northern China. He also had to deal with two other powers, Tibet and Karakaitai. Before his death, Genghis Khan divided his empire among his sons and immediate family, making the Mongol Empire the joint property of the entire imperial family who, along with the Mongol aristocracy, constituted the ruling class. Genghis Khan arranged for the Chinese Taoist master Qiu Chuji to visit him in Afghanistan, and also gave his subjects the right to religious freedom, despite his own shamanistic beliefs. Genghis Khan died on August 18, 1227, by which time the Mongol Empire ruled from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea, an empire twice the size of the Roman Empire or the Muslim Caliphate at their height. Citation needed. Genghis named his third son, the charismatic Ogedai, as his heir. According to Mongol tradition, Genghis Khan was buried in a secret location. The regency was originally held by Ogedai's younger brother Talyui until Ogedai's formal election at the Kurultai in 1229. Among his first actions, Ogedai sent troops to subjugate the Bashkirs, Bulgars, and other nations in the Kipchak-controlled steppes. In the east, Ogedai's armies re-established Mongol authority in Manchuria, crushing the eastern Xia regime and the Water Tatars. In 1230, the Great Khan personally led his army in the campaign against the Jin dynasty of China. Ogedai's general Subutai captured the capital of Emperor Wanyan Shoshu in the siege of Kaifeng in 1232. The Jin dynasty collapsed in 1234 when the Mongols captured Kaizhou, the town to which Wanyan Shoshu had fled. In 1234, three armies commanded by Ogedai's sons Kochu and Khotan and the Tangut general Chagan invaded southern China. With the assistance of the Song dynasty, the Mongols finished off the Jin in 1234. Many Han Chinese and Khitan defected to the Mongols to fight against the Jin. Two Han Chinese leaders, Shi Tianzi, Lu Haima and the Khitan Xiao Zhela defected and commanded the three Tumans in the Mongol army. Lu Haima and Shi Tianzi served Ogedai Khan, 38. Lu Haima and Shi Tianxiang led armies against western Xia for the Mongols. There were 4 Han Tumans and 3 Khitan Tumans, with each Tuman consisting of 10,000 troops. The Yuan dynasty created a Han army from Jin defectors, and another of ex-Song troops called the newly submitted army. In the west, Ogedai's general Kormakan destroyed Jalal ad-Din Mingburnu, the last Shah of the Khwarezmian Empire. The small kingdoms in southern Persia voluntarily accepted Mongol supremacy. In East Asia, there were a number of Mongol campaigns into Goryeo Korea, but Ogedai's attempt to annex the Korean peninsula met with little success. Gojong, the king of Goryeo, surrendered but later revolted and massacred Mongol Daragachis, overseers. He then moved his imperial court from Gaesiang to Gangwa Island. In 1235, the Mongols established Karakoram as their capital, lasting until 1260. During that period, Ogedai Khan ordered the construction of a palace within the surrounding of its walls. Meanwhile, in an offensive action against the Song dynasty, Mongol armies captured Xianyang, the Yangtze and Sichuan, but did not secure their control over the conquered areas. The Song generals were able to recapture Xianyang from the Mongols in 1239. After the sudden death of Ogedai's son Kochu in Chinese territory, the Mongols withdrew from southern China, although Kochu's brother Prince Khotan invaded Tibet immediately after their withdrawal. Bata Khan, another grandson of Genghis Khan, overran the territories of the Bulgars, the Alans, the Kipchaks, Bashkirs, Mordvins, Chuvash, and other nations of the southern Russian steppe. By 1237 the Mongols were encroaching upon Ryazan, the first Kievan Rus principality they were to attack. After a 3-day siege involving fierce fighting, the Mongols captured the city and massacred its inhabitants. They then proceeded to destroy the army of the Grand Principality of Vladimir at the Battle of the Sit River. The Mongols captured the Alania capital Maghaz in 1238. By 1240, all Kievan Rus had fallen to the Asian invaders except for a few northern cities. Mongol troops under Kormakan in Persia, connecting his invasion of Transcaucasia with the invasion of Batu and Subutai, forced the Georgian and Armenian nobles to surrender as well. Despite the military successes, strife continued within the Mongol ranks. Batu's relations with Gayuk, Ogedai's eldest son, and Buri, the beloved grandson of Chagatai Khan, remained tense and worsened during Batu's victory banquet in southern Kievan Rus. Nevertheless, Gayuk and Buri could not do anything to harm Batu's position as long as his uncle Ogedai was still alive. Ogedai continued with offensives into the Indian subcontinent, temporarily investing Uch, Lahore, and Multan of the Delhi Sultanate and stationing a Mongol overseer in Kashmir, 46, though the invasions into India eventually failed and were forced to retreat. In northeastern Asia, Ogedai agreed to end the conflict with Goryeo by making it a client state and sent Mongol princesses to wed Goryeo princes. He then reinforced his keshid with the Koreans through both diplomacy and military force. And that wraps up our exploration of the Mongolian Empire. From the rise of Genghis Khan to the vast territories they controlled, the Mongols were a force unlike any other in history. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating historical content. Thanks for watching.